There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. My baby goes that night and stays till the morning comes.
Well, howdy, folks. We're back here again at Redemption Alewerks.
Love this place.
I know. I love it, too. This is actually my first time as a pig member here, I guess.
Is. Oh, shit, it is.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
The last time we were here, Dan, who was here with us again, but he had us on the belly of the beast last time, and he didn't want the people to see our faces.
Well, I don't blame
We're
you.
not the prettiest pigs in the world. But
There's a reason why we're on radio.
You were given the opportunity to set up shop in the brewery, and I think that was very enticing at the time.
It was nice to be back
Still
there.
is.
You guys are feeling a little bit more comfortable in the public realm, so now we've come out of our little fort, hidden behind the tanks, and here we are.
closer the beer, the better. We don't mind.
And I've been here, I think, every Wednesday almost since that day.
Yeah. I mean, there's a religious check-in almost.
Except when he was in Florida.
Yes, when I was in Florida, I was not here. So we are joined by Dan, who is the head brewer here at Redemption. And we are also joined by Brandon, who is one of the owners, correct?
Correct, yes.
There we go. And who else do we have, Brandon?
We also have another special guest that's going to be on another show at Redemption with us tonight is Brad Ringstmeier.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Excellent. Brad's actually a former native family member of mine. We both served on the USS Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. And he is currently riding across country on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
And when I say dirt bike, it's a dirt bike.
It's a dirt bike. Yeah.
Does it have a motor on it or like a little BMX bike?
It's got a motor. Yeah.
You got to pedal real quick before the motor turns on.
Okay. It takes me
We
about
call those mopeds, I think.
it takes me about an hour to wind it up in the morning, but then, it's a good slingshot.
Good to go. You got the giant knobby tires on it that are good for concrete.
Do now.
Dan, tell us a little bit about what's coming out. What's Redemption got new since we were here last in the beer line?
We did the newest, most unique thing we have on right now is called Queen of Tarts. It's a tart apple ale. It's got a little sweet, a little tartness. It's nice. It's not a sour per se, but it's got one toe in the water of being sour. It's really, really delicious.
I had it yesterday and again today. It starts off almost like a cider beer, and then changes over almost to a sour beer kind of at the finish. It's very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Starts out
what else
sweet,
do we got?
finishes sour.
I'm looking up at the menu trying to
Nice.
figure out what we have going. Right now we have our Absolution on. It's a double IPA. It's the first time. We did Snake Oil previously, which was a double IPA, but this is the first time we've done this double IPA.
Speaking of looking at your boards here,
Yeah,
these things are awesome.
yeah, they work.
They do very well.
In fact, just this week we got rid of all our tap handles from the distributor to have a nice clean look at the bar.
Yeah.
And
How's that going for you?
Well, it's not the type of bar where people come in and use the tap handles to see what's on tap.
Right.
Because we have the menus. So
Well, see, when I was slinging drinks, it was easier for me to say, "Hey, that's that beer."
yeah. Well,
It wasn't for the people getting the beer.
No,
it was
no.
way more for me.
you are right about that. But if you work enough shifts, you know what's what. Every now and again, you got to stop and kind of glance up and go, "Oh, number 7." Yeah, that's what
1,
she said.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 7.
So one thing about your board too is if I check into Untapped, which a lot of craft beer users use Untapped religiously.
Yeah.
You guys give us some love because our name pops up there on your board if we check in here on the Untapped.
Yeah, not only do we have beers up there, but it also has live tweets, so you can sit in here, and if you're a social media person, you can tweet, and then your picture and your message goes across the top of our screen.
Uh-oh.
And then at the bottom, we have upcoming events.
Told me that.
Yeah,
We have upcoming. Now the what was it? The narcissism is kicking in. Oh, I got to see my picture up there.
Also Instagram. Instagram is up there as well.
I just want Wiener to be written really big up there.
You did have something exciting happen in the last couple of months. You guys went to a bigger system.
We did not go to a bigger system. We added tanks.
Added tanks. Okay.
Yes.
So you
So
can do
the
more.
brew house system stayed the same size. We added a couple of tanks, which were larger, so we can double brew into them.
There you go.
That's
Nice.
awesome, though.
Correct.
So you have more capacity now.
We have
though.
more capacity. We have a bright tank. We were using our fermenters as a unit tank previously, so that actually speeds the process up by a few days for each beer. Getting it out of the fermenter, getting it into the bright tank, and getting back into the fermenter or something.
Excellent. So we get Redemption beer faster now.
We do. And we're on a roll right now. We're going to slowly see a lot more red dots on the board. For those of you listening at home, as you stare into your radio dial, the red dots on the board are our home, our beers brewed here on premise, and the blue dots are guest taps, and the green dots are ciders or meads, most usually ciders. So that's the color coding system.
Nice.
That's a unique thing I love about Redemption is as good as beers they're making, they're also giving love back to the community and serving other people's beer here. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
there's a great beer community in Indianapolis. So.
Well, the business model is to slowly have more red dots than blue dots because it's cheaper for us and have more of a wide range of beers that we're making. And to go full circle back to your original question, in one of the fermenters we have a session IPA called Ditch Dodger, which is the first time we're brewing that beer. And then what else do we have? We're going to have our Reclamation Porter back on tap tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
And we're also going to portion some of that out and add a little pumpkin and spice to it to do the Wreck My Pumpkin, which we did last year, which was really popular.
And I told him that every year we do the Great Pumpkin Hunt, and we've only had one so far this year, and it was good. So
yeah.
Our bar is set pretty high this year. Usually it's set really low. This year it got set pretty high.
I feel like our Great Pumpkin Hunt is going very well this year with just one beer.
So I'll be looking forward to coming here and trying that. Brandon, do you want to tell us a little bit about Redemption? Anything you guys got going on too? Besides the beer, what else you got? You guys got great food here. You got entertainment. What else you got?
I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. We do have entertainment. We have live music every Saturday. We try to keep a lot of live local people from the community that we find or find us, obviously, coming in here to play every Saturday. We are always looking for more people, so if there's someone listening and they're interested in playing, come talk to us.
And you guys do local acts, correct?
We do, yeah. Kind of a good mix of covers.
We only book national acts in here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big name.
It's just funny because one of the gentlemen that joined us tonight actually is the proprietor of Indie Intune Radio, which is all local talent based.
Oh, okay.
He's sitting over at your bar right now. He's a good friend of ours.
Interesting,
so
okay.
He may have some band selections you may be interested in.
He can
sure
definitely
he would.
push some people your way.
Yep, definitely help you out there.
The most thing we're excited about is these new fermenters and getting more beer out there. That's been our biggest struggle since our inception, really, is getting fermentation space and getting more beer.
Right.
And that's one thing that we're stoked about, to have this ability now, and hopefully to continue to grow and get some more tanks in here and continue to put more beer out there and show what Dan can do for one, and what we think our organization can do, and get some really good beers out there. And eventually, maybe outside of here, but more than anything, like he said, is get more beer up there for people to come in here and buy and maybe take home in a growler and that kind of thing. But
So what's your most popular food dishes?
it's got to be wings, I would think.
And it should be.
It's a little bit
is-
unique too, right? You smoke them and then
Yeah, it is for me anyways. That's my favorite. There's a lot of other good things, but smoking the wings makes a huge difference. I
Yeah.
think there's some of the best in the city. There's a lot of good wings in the city, but
Yeah, we're right
but
up
they're
there.
up there.
Yeah.
In my
I agree.
opinion.
I was at the bar and I was like knocked over by that awesome aroma. I was like, "What is that?
Oh,
those
yeah.
are wings! Oh my goodness!
We've got some.
Hello, wings!
Yes.
We've got some coming here for us soon too.
They smoke them, then they flash fry them, and then they grill them to sear in the flavor. And oh my God, I'm here every Wednesday to eat them, man. I'm telling you.
I'm stoked.
I cry when I can't come on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I tell you, it's great to hear that there's more beer coming because we love all the local beer community, and we love all these breweries to go to. But Redemption's still one of my favorites, especially when it comes fall and winter. I love your dark brewers. There's something about your malts
Yeah,
that
thanks.
I just think they're beautiful. Your porters and stouts, I just
Yeah,
absolutely
we're
love,
actually
so.
brewing Boom Baby Brown tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And this is why we're home brewers. This is why our beer comes to Dan, because we trust his opinion because of the phenomenal beer he puts out. So if I can get Dan to say it's drinkable, I feel like I made a nice beer.
That's sweet. That's the first check on the list. Is it drinkable? The first one you gave me, there was no check in that box. No. So we've actually upgraded with the second batch you brought me.
Well, let's be honest. I drank them still.
As a home brewer, you have to because you're like,
I need those bottles back.
And I'm going to make sure I remember this so that this never happens again.
This one hurts so good.
Those are for the guests when they come over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got some beer.
Or you put those in the back and you're like, "Nah, I'm just letting those hang out. Those flavors need to soften up a little bit."
Strain them through a dirty sock. Maybe they'll come over.
Yeah, it helps.
So besides live music, you guys also do a trivia every Tuesday, correct?
We do, correct, yeah.
All right.
It's gotten quite popular.
Good.
In fact, if you love team trivia, I would suggest getting here early because we usually fill up pretty quickly.
And it's Taco Tuesday too, right?
It is. That helps.
I hear those are pretty damn good. And because we usually record on Tuesdays, so we haven't been here for Taco Tuesday yet, and everyone keeps telling me how great these tacos are.
We didn't start out like this, but we tried to go to a very uniform weekly, like Monday is this day, Tuesday's taco. So we have a drink special and a food special Monday through Thursday. I don't know. I can't. Go ahead, Brandon. You know better. You're a server. Can you remember them? I'm testing you. This is a pop quiz.
Tuesdays, we have the $2 Taco Tuesday, like you mentioned.
Nice.
We also have a.
Why don't we start with Brandon?
brewer's
Let's
choice.
start with Monday.
Well, I don't think we're going to be open Mondays a whole lot.
Oh,
in the
okay.
future, so that's the only reason. That's the reason I skipped it. to be honest
We're
with you.
actually having a company meeting now in front of you guys.
Dan's like, yes, we are.
It will be amazing.
Okay,
It will
Brandon,
be.
start with Tuesday then.
What day? And then we also have a brewer's choice. So basically, any beer that we choose to be on special for that day, $4 draft. It goes back and forth to being a guest tap or our beer, whatever we are enjoying that day, or
Whichever keg we need to get rid of.
whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes that's the case too.
Something's been hanging around a little bit longer than we like.
But you'd be surprised. Often that's a good beer.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad thing. People
Yeah.
actually go out and look for that special.
Sure.
At Alex Ale House, they do the same thing, and they'll have the whatever they call it at the bottom of it, and with the keg buster. That's what they call it. And you see people go straight to that. What's the keg buster today? I mean, so it's not a bad thing. I mean,
It's an
Well,
actual
sometimes
sport.
you can get pigeonholed sometimes. I do. I go in some place I know, like, oh, I love that beer. So I come in here and keep drinking the same one, but you don't try the other one because that one's still on tap, so I'm going to keep draining that sucker till it's gone. But,
Sure.
So you don't always try everything else, but that's not always a good
I'm
thing.
kind of that way too. But
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday and then Wing Wednesday. So we've got 69-cent wings every Wednesday. That's a big one.
No
too.
wonder you come in here on Wednesdays.
Jordan, put your hands on top of the table, please, while discussing.
Hand check. Hand check.
And then also growler fills. Growler fills are on special on Wednesday. $2 off any growler fill.
Nice.
So those are $10 house beers. Growler fills. Pretty good pricing, in my opinion, for a system of
Yeah.
our size.
Oh, yeah.
Thursdays, half price appetizers. Anything except for wings, unfortunately. We'd be paying you to eat them if they were half price. So everything but wings, but half price. A lot of good appetizers on there that are half price. As well as, what is the beer special on Thursday? It is today, $1 off redemption drafts. So any of our beers are $1 off.
Very
Speaking
nice.
of
Very
which, here come
nice.
some of those
Holy
appetizers.
cow.
Oh Lord, what is
I
that?
think these are this is for us.
My,
so we got
my.
a full order of pork nachos here. Had
Holy
to be
cow.
pork, obviously.
Well, yeah. Jeez,
we got some
Louise.
Good
wings.
grief.
We've got some wings. We've got 12 wings. I think
Beautiful.
there's 6 house sauce, 6 fire sauce. So our house, it's our redemption barbecue. It's kind of a
If you put those close
slightly
to me,
tangy, slightly spicy
It's
barbecue.
Damn.
Good stuff.
Jeez Louise.
So this is That'll Do Pig. I thought that was fitting too. They're basically pork tenderloin marinated in stout. Stout gravy pork tenderloin with that are deep
yeah.
breaded and fried with a little side of they're cubed, bite-sized pieces cubed in honey sriracha dipping sauce.
Beautiful.
Oh man,
So a little bit of pork, but I had to get the wings in there because I love the wings.
that looks awesome. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
like
I
how
was
we
chewing
put
in the
those
mic.
the furthest away from Jordan. That actually makes me really happy.
keep them
I
safe.
need to share because I do eat the wings literally every Wednesday. So I tried to eat 12 yesterday. I only got through 10. I was sad. That's pretty weak.
I came
It
all the
was.
way from
Weak
Seattle.
sauce.
They're a little spicy, so I hope you guys are all good with spice. The fire
Oh,
sauce
yeah.
is our hottest. It's not ridiculous. I mean, it's edible. It's not like beat-ups blazing, which you can't even. It's so hot, it's ridiculous. But it's very tasty. The house sauce is kind of a strong medium, in my opinion. A little more flavor there than just heat. Very good, though. I'll get her to get us.
So which one's the spicy one? I got to get one of these famous wings. So this side, that's
Yep.
spicy.
Yeah, that should be the fire sauce, I believe, there.
You'll know when you taste it.
Me and wings, we go way back.
A lot more of a habanero flavor. There's 28 whole habaneros in that.
Oh,
in the
nice.
sauce, and they make a
Oh, yeah.
quart size of it, so it's
Oh man, this is
they
good.
blend them
It's good
down.
stuff.
It's tasty
Good stuff.
Now you see why I'm here every Wednesday.
Well, you can just tell the sauce is like homemade.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you
it's
got-
got some zip.
You got a good IPA to wash that down because
Oh, yeah.
Deliverance will ignites those spicy wings.
Yeah, speaking of that, we have Deliverance in front of us. This is one of Redemption's regular beers that you guys keep this on tap almost all the time, don't you, Dan?
Try to.
We try to, and I think that our regular house beers are going to be more of a staple and not have as much downtime in between,
Okay.
especially when we start getting more red dots on the board. there'll be more choices for people, so they won't be honing in on just that beer when
Right.
we only have 3 or 4 dots. Then, because people really come in to drink our beer.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
So, as we get more and more products on the board, it's going to be easier to maintain those 6 or 7 staples and keep them on all the time.
Right. And Deliverance it's a great beer. I have nothing I can say wrong with it. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's one that I drink a lot when I come in here. I usually look at the board, whatever I haven't had, I try that first, and then I go back to Deliverance, or Colony Collapse is one of my favorite. You don't have it right now, but
I do not. That was a one-off. We will redo that, but that'll probably be a seasonal, once a year type of thing.
it's worth it. It's a good beer too.
Yeah.
So
Delicious.
And this one is what is this one considered? I can't read the board from this far.
Which one are you drinking there? I'm sorry.
We are drinking
Deliverance.
It's an IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of considered an old school IPA because we only used hops that were available in the 90s. So it's just got Columbus, Willamette, Cascade.
Is it named after the movie?
No, it is not named after the movie.
You get that a lot, though.
I grew especially with the name of your entourage here. Everything's tying together.
Pretty well right now.
Squeal like a hog, boy. This river don't go to Antry.
That's kind of where I was going with that one.
I couldn't see that coming.
No, not at all. No, it's killer beer.
It's a great movie, though.
It was a great movie.
It was a decent movie. Beer's better.
So what do you guys? What have you guys tried so far over there, food wise?
I had the pork balls. Those are delicious.
I don't think they're called
Delicious.
pork balls. But
They might as well be.
Folks just ain't got a taste for testicles no more.
Sweaty pork balls.
Delicious, though, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah, that thing. I mean, it just basically melts in your mouth.
Mhm.
I mean, it's insane.
yeah. And what's that actually called, Brandon?
That's called That'll Do Pig.
That'll do pig.
Pig.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I tried one as well, and it's really, really, really good.
Well, he ain't doing any more when he cut off his balls like that.
So just don't tell our pig that we were eating pig balls. He may not be happy.
Oh, I want him to know I'm going to eat him later.
You're not eating the mascot. Brandon, you probably don't know this, but we actually have a real pig. He's just not here tonight.
I do know this, actually. I've seen it on social media.
Okay.
I would love to meet him in person, but the health
Wait, holy
department,
moly.
might not let him being in here. But
We actually found somebody that follows us on social media.
Jordan, how's his personality shaping up these days? Is he doing all right?
He's not bad. He definitely has a character. He's been out in public with us a couple times, and people love him. He doesn't bite or anything. I mean, you can go up and pet him and rub him, and he's all happy to see you. But he can be a little shit sometimes. He has a cage that's like a metal octagon that we put out for him, but he's now learned to use that as a walker.
We're talking about the pig, not cowboy.
Yeah, well, they're interchangeable, but
I still got the cage.
again?
so we've had to buy cinder blocks now. We're going to take out with us to cinder block his cage so he can't use it as a walker. Otherwise, he'd just walk away and we'd be gone. So, but he's a lot of fun. So.
Pretty smart too, I hear. Is that true? I just mean
They,
pigs
they are
in general. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very intelligent.
Real pigs, not us. Yeah. Real pigs are smart.
That's why we named ourselves the Pigs, so people would think that we were intelligent. That was our ploy.
No,
It's not working.
Not at all. Yeah.
So what's new on the homebrew horizon for you?
Well, not new per se, but we're trying to hone in some things.
Some previous recipes?
Yeah.
I've pretty much dropped most of the recipes off, other than the stout that you've had that you gave a yes, you're on the right track.
That was a positive grade.
And the saison that I gave you that you also said was on the right track.
Yeah.
I've kept those two in our repertoire. Other than that, we're kind of back to the drawing board, and we're starting from scratch on some new stuff. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
because those two seem to be heading the right way. The others seem to be heading the wrong way. So we just booted them and going back to square one on
That's
those.
what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
But when you're on the right track, you're on the right track. And I think the new stout that I just bottled yesterday was good. We put coffee in secondary, so it pulled a little bit more coffee flavor out of it that you and I talked about. And I think it's good. So I'll have a bottle of that for you here soon.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, and I
Really?
like
The stout was good.
Yeah, so you like the
Yeah,
stout.
I think the stout we did turned out pretty well, so I'm happy with that one. But it's not ready yet, but it's going in the right direction.
No, and I bring it where I know I'm going to get the
Drinkable.
brutal opinion on it too. I don't want to be sugarcoated. I want to bring it in, and if it sucks, I want to know it sucks. I don't, and I'm sure you're the same way, Dan. As a head brewer of a professional brewery, if your beer doesn't turn out well, you want that honest opinion, don't you?
I'm pretty in tune with what's going on. I'm probably one of the harshest critics that'll drink the beer. I mean,
I would agree with that.
I'll pick out stuff that everyone else is like, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. This is fine. I'm like, no, there's a 1/1 billionth of diacetyl in here. So,
Well, and Dan, you get a lot more experience. When this is a young craft beer in Indianapolis is a young game right now.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a while. You've got kind of a head start on some of these guys around here.
I've been doing it a minute.
Yeah. So I mean, but it shows. I mean, the beer here was wonderful.
But I'll tell you that Dan takes it very seriously, which is most amazing thing. So right before the show started, I said, Dan, what do you think about a certain beer you had up there that was a guest tap, by the way? And he said, dude, I like it. It's a great beer. And I go, no, I had it yesterday, dude. It's not good. He goes, and usually him and I see eye to eye on a lot of beer. So I was like, dude, you sure? I was like, who makes a sour porter? He goes, it's not sour, Jordan. I go, no, dude, seriously. Dan kind of leaves, and he's like, yeah, I got to do some work real quick. So he had to go flush that line out and make sure that nothing was wrong. And he takes it very, very seriously.
We have 78 feet of draft line from our cooler to our taps. And
That's a minute. Yeah.
They can get a little funky sometimes. Not all the time, but it just happens. I mean, I'll sip a beer, and I'll go, man, that's not right. I know this beer. And then I'll just go clean the line and then run it back through, and it tastes fantastic. So the beer in question, I'm like, what, man, that's good beer. What's wrong with you, Jordan? Your palate's on the line here. What?
No one's ever going to trust you as a brewer.
You're going way off the rails here, brother. So then I go pull a little sample. I'm like, oh, my God, this is really bad. And it wasn't like that a few days ago. I mean, it happens like that.
Right.
So
and that was a compliment to you, how fast.
Right.
How
so
fast
I
you
went
just,
and ran.
boom, it was done.
There's a cleaner in the line right now. I got to flush it out.
Yeah.
So,
You'll notice the beer is not on the
when
list
you have
any
that
longer.
commercial break with all those national companies that pay for advertising here, I'll run and clean it out.
Well,
That's
sorry.
a good joke.
I'm looking forward to tasting it later. Is it going to be back on later tonight?
I'm curious. I want to put it back on and make sure, but we're going to put reclamation on that line tomorrow. So I'm cleaning it now, and hopefully when I pull that beer through, it's clean. And because if it's the beer in the keg, then I got to re-clean it for reclamation tomorrow. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to try it again tonight and see if it
will.
tastes like a chocolate porter.
yeah, it will taste. I think it will.
That's awesome.
There's no way a keg goes bad. It's got to be the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
It goes south that fast.
Yeah.
But that just shows you how intent and how serious all of these craft brewers are. Dan being the head brewer, if you mention something to him about his beer being off, he's going to immediately go test it.
Well, even the guest taps, I actually get more worried about that because I feel like I'm a beer shepherd. Yes, I'm a beer shepherd,
right.
and they've given me their product.
Right.
And a lot of times over the weekend when I'm not here, I'll come in on Monday and I'll say, okay, 3 beers went on, and I'll go taste them and make sure. And if the line doesn't taste right, I'll immediately clean them. If the beer tastes really clean and it's exactly what the beer should be, I'm not going to blow 78 feet of beer in a line down the drain just to clean it for the
Right.
sake of cleaning it. I mean, I got to taste a little bit of an off flavor or something. But, yeah,
Right.
it is paid attention to with great detail.
Now, is that really just to sample it, or is it just because you want a beer first thing Monday morning?
I don't think I need to twist any arms around here to go here if I really want one. So I know where it is.
So, Brandon, what all do you do here? I know you're an owner, but I know you do a lot more than just own the place.
I do a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. I have been a brewer before. I've evolved a little bit here with brewing, not as much as I'd like, but I think that I get a little bit more involved in there. Obviously, Dan's in charge over there, and that's for good reason because Dan should be. But I'm also front of a house manager, general manager here.
Okay.
Help keep the books, do that kind of stuff. I've got a little bit. My hands are in a little bit of everything, I guess you could say. Managing all front of the house servers and bartenders.
Yeah, he messes
and all
up
that
a
kind
lot of stuff, not just one area.
No
He
doubt,
goes-
no doubt about that.
we kid because we love.
We do. I started in craft beer as a profession at Union Brewing Company in Carmel.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of how this place was born, honestly. I was a brewer there. Started as a cellarman, just a bartender, worked my way to brewing as a brewer. I was a home brewer for a lot of years prior to that.
Right.
Was pretty much the associate head brewer under Cameron Fila. He was the head of brewing operations, but I was brewing by myself there every day for close to a year before he and I left to found this place as original founders. And there was, such a much a bigger animal here than Union was as far as a full kitchen and just a lot bigger space for one. You're not just pulling 10 beers and that's it. There's a lot more going on. So There was a lot of other areas of the business that needed attention that pulled me away from brewing, and thankfully Dan was available at the time, and we found him, and we're happy to have him as a part of our team to take over all the brewing. So that's basically it in a nutshell. My hand is in a little bit of everything when it comes to marketing as well.
So we're going to be working with you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah, we were at Next Hop Mall together, and that's,
That was a fun event. That was a very fun event.
He is reigning champ.
He is.
I am. I
Yeah.
do. I hold the championship. I don't know whether I'm going to retire or defend my championship and be the Green Bay Packers of Next Hop Model and just take the first two, and then I'll let the public have a chance. You know what I'm saying? The red short shorts, and I might send them to the Hop Model Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The original red, hot, tight short shorts that won it for me.
There you go.
They need to be somewhere where the public can appreciate them.
I tell you what, behind the scenes at Next Hop Model was pretty incredible. I was back to running sound behind the stage. It was hot. It was sweaty. I couldn't move, and I saw things I just never imagined in my life I would ever see.
I was doing pretty good because I was drinking beer, and then I turned around and Easy from Flat 12 just handed me a bottle of Evan Williams. And I took 2 fat pulls off of that thing, and I was blasted off in the outer space. It really helped the show, I think, because all inhibitions were relaxed at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we drink a couple beers before we come on the air. I mean,
I think we're all getting thirsty right now.
Let's take a quick
service
break
in this place. Holy cow.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
What's the best way to make it through a long work week? Take a midweek break and join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House in Fishers for Nico's Open Stage. Want to share your talent in front of a live audience? Whether it's breaking in some new material or jamming out to some favorites, Nico's Open Stage is the place to go for it. There's never a cover charge, and walk-ins are always welcome. Each week brings a featured artist and drink specials from Jack Daniels. Check out Nico's Open Stage on Facebook for more details. And come join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House, home of the boys of Blind Pig Confessions.
We're back on air. We took a quick break because there was a bunch of food in front of us, and we wanted to try it before we talked about it. We took a quick break there. We got another beer. We loaded up on some food, and now we're back on air to talk about it. So, gentlemen, who wants to start?
Those pork balls still.
That's called the Not Something Pig.
Here, let me moderate here, Jordan, if I may step in. Let's start with the pork balls.
Yes,
What do you guys think?
yes. Those things are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they melt in your mouth.
The sauce goes really well with them. The
It
honey
does.
sriracha.
Yes. It does very well.
Yeah. Little sweet, little heat.
I like heat. Your hot wing sauce. That's a
little too much.
That's
for
too
you?
much for me.
Yeah.
But that's right on.
Okay. Moving on to the wings. Jordan is on record as it's one of his favorite in the city.
It's at points all he talks about.
Right.
Like so much where I'm like, all right, dude, seriously, we know, we get it.
I would love to talk about those wings.
Okay. Yeah. Brad. Yeah, he was
God.
when we were in break. He was very adamant that he needed to express himself about the wings.
All right.
So go ahead.
So being from what I would say Midwest, East Coast, Cleveland, they do wings on the East Coast, And even when I was living in Connecticut and stuff like that, wings are serious business.
Oh, yeah.
You go out west, they're like, we got wings? Yeah, sure. I don't know where they're at. No one takes wings serious. They take wings serious here. And that's very apparent because you bite into that thing, it's smoky, it's not anemic, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like something that came out of a Traeger or almost like a sous vide,
We also
amazing.
also make a house dry rub, a combination of spices. I like to order the wings with the dry rub because the skin stays really crispy
There
when
you
you
go.
do that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then I get the sauce on the side,
Yep.
and then you can get a couple different sauces and dip.
Yeah.
Whereas if you order the sauce on the wing, you've committed fully.
Yeah.
And you can't multitask between different little ramekins of wonderful dips.
Yeah.
So that I just like options.
It feels so good for me to I can say I'm back in the Midwest. the wings are here.
So I think I turned Jordan onto the dry rub with the side dipping sauce last time he was here.
You did, absolutely. And I forgot to do it yesterday because I got here and I was just so damn hungry. All I wanted to do was eat, so I just ordered them regular. But
You just did the knee-jerk Jordan order and didn't think about what I taught you.
exactly, I did. I didn't take my lesson. But tonight, because I have already obviously have the fire wings all the time, I did try the house barbecue wings.
Yeah.
That is some damn fine barbecue sauce. I will say that.
Yes, it is.
I'm usually not a big barbecue on chicken wings fan because I like the hot, spicy stuff.
Right.
But that has so much flavor. It does add to that smoky character you taste in. The barbecue sauce and the smoky flavor work together really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great pairing. Just want to throw that out. Even though I'm the speaker of the fire wings, the barbecue wings were phenomenal.
I love the spicy stuff too. I've heard you guys do a dry rub as well. So there's so many different types of wings.
Right.
I mean, it's like I'm just in awe.
Yeah.
I'm kind of blown away right now. I'm overwhelmed
Yeah,
by wings.
they really are delicious.
And the thing here, Brad, is these guys are local. They're making these wings fresh. They're taking pride in these wings. So if you're a wing eater, come here and eat the wings. Don't go to B-Dubs. Don't go to Hooters. Come here and eat the wings.
No, these guys are taking some serious pride in these. I mean, if you're smoking your wings, that's the next
all
level.
you gotta do
That's
is
next
pull
level.
up out in the parking lot and you can smell these wings out
Yeah.
there. So it's
And then lastly on the table here, we've got the humongous plate of nachos.
That's bigger than Jordan's head.
Yeah,
and that's
it's
hard.
heavy. It's heavy.
All right.
If you notice, the waitress brought it out on a hand truck. And then we used a come-along tied to the rafter at the top to get it onto the table. It's just covered in pork and corn and chopped tomatoes and lime
Deliciousness,
juice.
yeah.
And then plopped on top is a combination of guacamole and hummus. I don't think anyone else is doing that in the area. It's a very unique blend here at our place. And then a little sprinkle of cotija cheese over the whole thing. And it makes a wonderful, wonderful...
absolutely delicious.
You had me at cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't usually get a plate of nachos and see corn. You don't see hummus. You don't see any of those things in there. You're right. It's a very unique combination, but it's delicious. I mean, it's awesome.
I'd say it also pairs with the different beers that we've had
Oh,
really
yeah.
well
Oh,
because
yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
lot of different flavors there that are kind of going on, but they all pair really well.
Mm-hmm.
You guys spend a lot of time to come up with this stuff.
We're feeling like we're doing really, really good, fun, unique pub food. I hate to just call it pub food, but it's pub food, but with like a unique artisan twist.
There
to
it
Yeah,
is.
there. See that? See
Uh-huh.
what we just did?
I'm on your wavelength, buddy.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started coming here, I was drawn in by their amazing porters and stouts, and then I had their wings, and I was like, holy cow, these are awesome. But I was missing heat when I first, because you guys weren't doing that heat back then. It's like, man, you guys need something with some heat in it.
No, we just started out with our house sauce, and I think we had two sauces when we started out. It
Yeah.
was house sauce and then a typical like Frank's, a standard buffalo style. And we've slowly expanded and added more sauces.
Those
so.
fire wings are absolutely phenomenal. That smokiness comes through. It's just a great
I'm
flavor.
telling you, some days I'm over there brewing and working, and you get busy, and it's like you haven't eaten in a while. Then all of a sudden, someone sitting kind of near my brew area gets a plate of wings brought out, and it like that smell hits you, and you're like, oh, I can't work anymore. That's not fair.
This is ridiculous.
This is great.
It hits
How's
you.
a man supposed to work when those wings are sitting right over there? They really are delicious.
I do love your brew area. I mean, it really is open to the public a little bit.
I call it the brew kennel because of the fence.
Yeah, I dig that.
I do beg for scraps of food every now and again.
Will work for food, yeah.
Yeah, we'll brew for food.
yeah.
But I think the public likes that too, where they can come in here and they see you working. They can go over there and just watch it. Not even they don't say anything. They can watch, and they're intrigued at what you're doing.
It's a little creepy sometimes because some of them stare. They don't pick
Too
up on
much.
social cues. Like, this is weird. Stop staring at me. But
Like, especially when you venture to the bathroom and
yeah,
they're still staring.
I'm gonna hide behind this tank now to get out of the laser gaze you're shooting at me while I work. No, it's fun. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the most intriguing things about working in a brew pub as opposed to a production facility is you get to rub elbows with the people that are sitting there enjoying your beer, like walk right out and they're like, hey man, this porter's awesome. When you're in a production facility, you just don't have that direct
you don't have
public
that connection,
contact.
Yeah. When you see that end user and they're complimenting you on your work, I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
got to send you home feeling pretty good.
Exactly. And sometimes they're, I don't really like this too much. Like, well,
Get
okay.
out. Get out.
Sometimes there's value in those comments.
There is
too.
a lot of value,
you
and
gotta
sometimes
take
it's
it
just like,
with what
hey,
it
well, you
is.
don't like that style.
Of
I'm
course.
okay with that because
Right.
there's certain beer
Right.
styles that I'm not partial to.
Yeah.
Whether if I can drink the beer and say, you know what, this is really like black IPA. it's just, to me,
I'm not a big fan, but if I have a good
I'm
one,
not
I'm
a
going,
big
wow,
fan.
okay, I really, that's,
Yes,
they did
exactly.
something else with that,
Yeah.
It's amazing how the palate changes too. Like my palate has changed over time.
exactly.
You know,
Well,
I
food-
really don't
food-
like the sweeter beers now. I'm more of like
Right. You got to
know-
have a little bit of hoppiness to it
Yeah.
to balance it out.
Yeah, and like the saisons, I'm really not over there. But you know, I think your palate changes over time, and then when you learn about the beer, that kind of intrigues you a little bit as well.
Yeah.
You know, you come
Yeah.
to a place like this, and you look around, you're like, oh, well, that's how this works. That's how that works. Well, that's why it's an IPA, and that's why it's a this. And, I mean, there's a lot of knowledge about beer
Oh, yeah.
that
And-
happens right here.
And all of us started off, most of us anyway, started off as macro drinkers, you know, and then when the craft beer buzz hit, a lot of people, you know, switched over. So yeah, your palate kind of adapts, and you learn different beer styles, and you learn different tastes and whatever. And you know, we like to say, once you go craft, you never go back.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Well, it's
pretty
one of the
much
special
true.
things in America, and I think we're just doing some phenomenal beers now, you know, that the rest of the world has to be watching. And one of the reasons is because we have some phenomenal hops here. Brad, I know
We do.
You're making some. You're making your own hops. You're growing some of your own hops, but we have some phenomenal hops that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And people are coming here just for them now. I mean, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, being in Asia for like the last 14 months and not having the IPAs and not having these beers, I got to be honest, it was a little rough. Like when I came across an IPA somewhere, I would pay top dollar just to get that flavor, you know, of which I was accustomed to from back here. So I think the rest of the world is catching on, but they're really looking at us now and going, wow, what are they doing?
not just in Germany anymore, folks.
Yeah.
So
All right.
speaking of beers, what do we have here?
Yeah,
that we just
because
finished?
I just felt a little tingle in my pants. But it wasn't. It was. So before we talk about the tingle, let's talk about that Salvation, because holy shit, this next one's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to drink anymore until we talk about the Salvation.
The Salvation, yeah, it's.
Sorry, I'm getting a little hot.
We should probably have. Let's say we should probably have Dan tell us about the Salvation before we talk about it.
The Salvation is our orange blossom honey wheat. It's the grist bill is about 33% wheat. It's got a little bit of Munich malt in it to add a little color to it, to try and just darken it just a little bit. But the keynote of the beer is the orange blossom honey, which is very expensive. But it adds, I mean, you can smell the orange blossoms on the top of the beer. It is really unique honey. And we put it in the kettle, and we actually ferment it through, but it still stays in the beer.
Yep.
It never really disappears. It really, so it's a nice, easy drinker. It's got, I think, Techning is the hop. We just throw a little bit in to balance it out and not be a hoppy beer, but make it nice and smooth. And man, it is a really, really good quenching beer that's an easy drinker. We're proud of that one.
Yeah, I would say it's probably one of the smoothest beers I've had in a long time. That is a smooth beer.
Yeah.
With it's very complex. There's a lot of different flavors going on.
Yep.
But it is just smooth.
Complex
like I could
yet
be
simple.
Yeah. Like I could be really hot, you know. I could drink it and enjoy
Yep.
it. I could be full, have a few sips. It could be a sipper, you
Yep.
know. I mean,
It's clean. It's
and
not
it also
heavy.
pairs well with some foods that aren't extremely aggressive in the flavor profile. Like, this might go well with a little bit of that honey sriracha sauce, even though that's kind of a spicy sauce. It's not one of our crazy spicy sauces.
Right.
And that the honeys might, complement instead
actually.
of doing the contrast thing and be a nice little wash down when you get your pork bites.
I mean, it's light, it's floral, it's delicious. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what I would call a boat beer, like we
Yep.
talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
oh, boat
Easy.
beer. I know boat
Yeah.
beer.
You take a bunch of this on a boat and drive around, and you're good.
Yeah.
Or in your case, you can do a growler pack instead of a camel pack and
There you go.
ride across the country. You'd be all right.
Not recommend that. Only for NA.
So we got another beer in front of us.
Yeah, and this one I'm going to tell you, as soon as I had my first drink, I was like, holy shit, that's delicious. And this is actually, like Brad, you were talking about the sweeter beers, but this hits you with a sweet side, but then the hoppiness comes through.
The hops have backed off a little bit. We're talking about the Absolution Double IPA.
Ah, it's beautiful.
It's a big
This is
beer.
delicious.
I think it's pushing 9%. I don't have all my notes in front of me, guys.
Absolution,
winging this,
you got
but-
8.7 on the board.
Yep,
there.
I knew it was pushing 9.
That's why that board is so nice, because you can just look
Wow.
up there. You know exactly, like 92 IBU, You know, it's great to have that board there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
This is one of the ones where you were just talking about where I'm not a huge IPA guy. But
Right.
when I hit one that goes, holy shit.
I'm with you. I'm not a giant double IPA guy. I like balanced beers that I can drink.
Yes.
I don't like. I mean, I can sip 2 or 3 ounces of a big double IPA just to taste it, but I won't sit down and enjoy a whole glass of it. This one is like that. It's balanced. It's sweet.
It's almost
hops.
malty.
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's
by
where you
sweet.
get the alcohol from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's a
really good.
rounded beer. It's not going to smack you with that harsh, dry, hoppy
not
finish
at all.
and kind of get you that puckering at the end. It's a really nice, smooth double IPA.
This is one we like to play this game of. What is the IBUs on this? What
92.
Oh yeah, it is, but
Because
it
I wouldn't
hides.
guess
you
that
wouldn't
would-
ever
I
thought
wouldn't
that.
know.
It hides.
Yeah, it hides very well,
Yeah.
and when you can do that in a double,
Yeah.
you're doing something right. I mean, most of the time, not all the time, but you're doing something right.
And as a Seattleite, you know, from the upper left coast, like we are hopheads.
Oh, yeah.
We are double IPA people. I would say this is an amazing double.
Thank you.
It's not super hardcore.
It's
like
not.
some of
It's
those
not.
hopheads would be like, nah, that's a little
No,
too
no,
sweet.
definitely. Like the super hop heads would not,
But
not go for this.
But what I'm saying is you've bridged that gap,
Yeah.
and you've brought those people who are maybe an IPA fan, you know, and their palate is changing, it's emerging, you know, and they're trying this stuff, and they're like, you know, that's not too bad. Like I'm a big hophead. I drink this, and I'm like, that's some good hops. I taste some Cascade in there. You got some Cascade in there?
We got a little Cascade. We got a little, I believe, Simcoe and Amarillo. I think we
Simcoe.
bittered with Warrior. I can't remember, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not being a good head brewer right now with all my notes, but
No, I disagree. You're
Man.
just not giving away all your secrets.
no, I don't care. I'd tell you guys if I knew sitting right here, I can't remember.
I know nobody's listening to this show, so this ain't going to go very far.
Well, it tastes good.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would say it's a solid beer. Again, I'm not the hophead of the group either. I'm not a big IPA guy. But I'm with Brendan. If it tastes good, it tastes good. I don't care what category it's
Right.
in. This is well balanced. I do get the bitter hop, but it doesn't linger. It hits and it's gone and it's refreshing. It's those hops that hit you and they stay in your mouth, like on the roof of your mouth forever, that I don't like.
It's like this beer's making me thirsty.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
The worst thing in the world.
Those are the IPAs I don't like. Where you're right. I drink one and I'm like, may I have a glass of water, please?
Could I have a double IPA and a wheat beer to wash down the hops?
Absolution. Fantastic beer. Fantastic beer.
That is a
Thank
really
you.
good beer.
Thank you, guys.
Salvation, I think, I like all the beers, but so far Salvation is my favorite of the night. And
I love Salvation. That was a fantastic beer.
Yeah, and I always like to try to pick one. So far, Salvation is winning. Nothing against the other ones. I think
It's a great beer,
and it fits my palate perfectly.
You know, and it's one of those beers that it kind of falls on deaf ears with some of the beer geeks that won't give anything attention unless it's an IPA or a double IPA or something. And it's a fantastically built recipe. It's an excellent beer.
It is. Yes, absolutely. And you're right. I think and that's why we don't consider ourselves beer snobs. We consider ourselves beer connoisseurs because we like to try all the different varieties. We don't look at it and go, ew, you don't IPA, oh, then it's not for me. I can't do that.
To
Why
me,
did you get a weird British accent?
no matter
I don't
what.
Because I did.
Andy attempted to stick his pinky out.
Yeah, it was really weird, yeah.
I want to make you feel
To
uncomfortable.
me,
Cowboy.
to properly judge a beer, you have to consider the style and what was intended.
Exactly.
And then does it fit the style? A lot of times on the social media and things, you get this beer sucks, but I hate cream ale. Well, why'd you say the cream ale sucks? The cream ale's fine. You just don't like cream ale.
Like cream ale. Yeah.
So don't comment on it.
Yep.
You know, just like I mentioned earlier with the black IPAs, I will never walk in a bar and order a black IPA. But if someone asks me to try it, I'll go, oh, wow, that's a really nicely built IPA. But I'm not going to order a pint of it. I just don't care for it.
Right.
So there's a balance between properly judging and critiquing a beer and being and removing your biases from the equation.
And a lot of times on Untapped, because we do try a lot of beer, if it's something that I'm not a big fan of, but I know it's a good beer, my comment would be, I know it's a really good IPA, It's a little too hoppy for me. That would be my comment. I wouldn't just go on there and say, this is a shitty IPA, because that's not fair to the IPA. Just because I didn't like it because it was too hop doesn't mean that
this beer sucks,
else
too
doesn't.
bitter.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I know I'm not a big Saison fan, so I just I'll try them. I'm still trying them because I think my palate's adjusting, but I just know that I kind of linger too.
Saisons can be pretty quirky, though. That's to me, Saison's a pretty broad range. People do a lot of different stuff with Saisons.
It's like porter is a huge, wacky void of blank
sometimes
canvas.
How are they calling this a porter?
Is it a
right?
brown ale? Is
Yeah.
it a stout? I mean, it's a big void for interpretation.
So
in
porter
there.
was built to take up that space. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Between the brown ale and the
Yes.
stout, if it's not one of those, it's a porter.
There wasn't a natural step.
I think there's a couple groups that said, we don't have anything to go in it. Our beer doesn't go into any category. Let's go to porter. Yeah, we'll have a competition.
And then sometimes I go to some of the microbreweries and I think, I taste the beer and I'm like, the hops are off and you can tell they're off or something's not right with it. And I think sometimes they try to brew like an ale or something. They screw up the hops and they go, whoop, shit, that's really bitter. That's an IPA. That's just... But
Well,
IPA doesn't necessarily mean bitter.
In full disclosure, one of the awesome things about a brew pub is that if you make a beer and something goes wrong and it's still drinkable, you can just rename it.
Right.
There you go.
Put it on the board. That's what happened with our Queen of Tarts. We actually brewed an Oktoberfest. I believe there was a yeast mismanagement issue on our side. We should have ordered a new batch of yeast, and we pitched some. Well, this isn't an Oktoberfest, but you know what? It's beautifully tart and clean. Let's throw some apple in this sucker and make an autumn ale or something out of it. And we had to save it somehow.
Right. And it
But
does
it worked.
It pairs beautifully with your fire wings, by the way.
Yeah,
I was drinking it with my fire wings yesterday, and it was
so,
delicious.
I mean, the Queen of Tarts is one of you hate to look, you hate to tell people that, but it's like, it was a screw up, and we had to save it.
Right. And
No,
it turned
no,
out
no.
well.
I
They've
say
created
that
something really amazing that you're going to try to repeat someday too. I mean, as a
I
home
already
brewer, I've
told.
done that.
I said we figure out a way to do it right,
Yeah.
and make a sour tart because it's going really well.
Yeah, it is good, and I would have had no idea it was a messed up had you not told me. So
Right,
But
But this is the kind of show where you
Let it all out.
do the Penn and Teller thing, and kind of pull the curtain back and say, "Hey, man, this is what happened." I mean, we took the beer to the Columbus Beer Fest, and people just walking up, I wouldn't say, "Hey, we messed this beer up." No, it's that, but our brewer buddies that came through, I'm like, "Screw up, taste this," and they'd taste it and go, "Well, fuck you, man," because they knew it was good. Because they knew it was good.
And our listeners are probably going to want to come here and try it. They're going to be like, "What? It was a screw up, but it tastes that good." They're going to be like, "I got to try that shit."
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's low alcohol. It's like 4.2%.
Right.
It's tart, but has a nice apple sweetness. And
That's a
man,
lunch beer.
you can just get.
Yeah.
It just reeks of autumn.
It's the
It
first
really
thing I had
does.
when I got here tonight.
Yeah.
And it starts off like a nice hard cider, and then it kind of goes downhill to a nice tart finish.
We say uphill.
Well,
Goes
but
uphill.
it goes down because it's the flavor. You know what I'm saying? It changes. The
Oh,
flavor
this beer
changes.
goes downhill from your first sip, man.
So are you
Come out and try it.
Are you trying to bring
If
in
you
the
want
cider?
to try a great beer that goes downhill after your first sip, come to Redemption Alewerks.
they've got you hooked up.
You fuckers do what I meant. The flavor profile goes from sweet to sour as you go through the first sip.
But that should say something, though. You can fix a bad beer. Not a lot of people can.
It wasn't bad beer.
Well, okay,
See,
fair enough.
there's a difference.
You fix something that you didn't intend
It
to happen.
didn't turn out the way we wanted, but it was savable.
And that's, but you knew,
There's a big difference.
but you found a workaround.
Yes.
Not everybody can do that.
Yeah, I think most, especially in brew pubs, it's easier to say, let's try something here and save this batch. Otherwise, it's got to go down the drain, and nobody wants to do that.
No.
But Dan, you still have to craft the recipe to make it, enjoyable for the drinkers, and it sounds like you did that. You took something that kind of went.
Well, we don't have our Oktoberfest on now, but we have something else that's working. So
Maybe we should get a sample of those. Have you guys had it yet?
Yeah,
I'd like to try it.
Maybe we should do a sample of the tarts.
let me go hustle up a smiling server. I'll be right back,
Oh,
gentlemen.
right on.
We talked about it so much. I think it's only fair that we try it on the air and talk about it. Let people know that it is good.
There's a lot of people. I have friends that, mostly ladies, who are they're a little opposed to beer, especially some of the craft beer. but they do like cider because it kind of mimics a wine in some ways. So maybe if they're getting something here that maybe some cider drinkers may enjoy, there's only bonus there.
Yeah,
That's
I think
pretty
getting
good.
women involved. But now I see so much more,
There's so
many
many
more women now involved with craft beer.
Oh, yeah.
And beer drinkers because of craft beer, that they weren't going out. Hey, drink this Miller Lite. It's really good. No, it tastes like shit. I'll take it.
Exactly.
They don't. No, I'm not taking that. But now because craft beer really is so wonderful and there's so many great flavors, there are a lot more women going, all right, that's pretty good. You can keep your Miller Lite shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of
But
course.
give me the craft beer because craft beer is delicious and there's so many more flavors
Even if
out
you
there.
look around the room tonight, you see women out there drinking craft beer.
You didn't see that 10 years ago.
For sure, definitely.
Well, you didn't see women drinking beer at all 10 years ago, almost.
No, then they were drinking that Coors Light crap. But
Yeah.
now even the younger crowd, you don't see. It's funny, like people are like, well, getting the craft beer. It's like, oh, I used to drink this all the time, but then I had this, and now younger people are like, I never drink any of that shit. I drink craft beer in college. Like, all right.
One of the things that's very important for the craft brew industry, and this was one of the keynote speakers at the Indiana Brewers Guild in Fort Wayne recently, is quality control. You can't have a bunch of brewers churning out less than quality work, because when you try to bring that person over from the macro crowd to the craft crowd, if they get a crappy product, they're not. They're going to be gun shy.
Over?
They're going to go. They're going to be gun shy,
Right.
of returning or
Right.
trying to return.
Right. Yeah. Why cross over? I'll just keep
It's
my
like
other
the
shit.
old, a rising tide raises all ships. We need everybody to really concentrate on quality assurance programs within their brewery and make the whole industry a quality product, so that we can get more of those market shares coming over. Crossover children, all are welcome, over to our side.
Well, I think for many, many, many American years, people were drinking beer just to get drunk. I mean, there was a lot of bad shit out there.
There was.
Especially you go to college. But now, people are drinking because, holy shit, there's some incredible flavors out there.
It's
So
part of
it's
the.
changing.
It's part of the culinary profile.
Right.
It's not just okay. I'm pounding these.
Right.
It's like included in the thought of making a nice meal. Okay, well, I'm going to have a nice porter with this chocolate cake at the end of dinner.
Right.
What? Beer with cake?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's great now. You go into a liquor
Like
store.
Jim Gaffigan could do a whole bit on that.
You go into a liquor store now, and people
Beer,
don't just
good,
go
cake,
to
great.
go into that one cooler with Bud Light, Coors. Everyone just go grab their beer and walk out of there, just going. Now you see people looking around the store, and looking through the
But
coolers.
you know what? I love
That's
going
nice.
to liquor stores nowadays, where in the liquor store there is a section for Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, and all that.
Look
But
at
the
that
rest
small
of it is craft beer, and you're thinking, what?
They
This
actually,
is amazing.
If you notice, a lot of them are putting the regular macro beers back in a corner where you actually have to kind of weasel back.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they know those people are going back there to get them, but they make them walk by the higher dollar craft items to get to those items.
Yeah.
Which is completely all right.
Yeah, it is. It's the way it should be. It's the way you do shelving. You put your top shelf.
Uh-huh.
And then on the bottom is your black eyes vodka or whatever.
Right. Yep.
Do they still make that?
Oh yeah. I mean, not that I would
not
know,
that you're aware of.
but I think I've seen it on the shelves.
Oh, man.
They still
So
make
what's
it.
the name of this guy again?
Queen of Tarts Apple Ale.
And you smell that apple right away.
It's the beer that goes downhill from start to finish.
It's like you're on an apple toboggan.
It's funny because I just got a brand new thing of apple cider the other day, and that's exactly what it smells like. I need a shot of Beeman's in it.
Well, it really does start off very sweet, and then it just gradually gets sour.
There's a little bite. There's definitely a little bite there,
I like it.
Oh, wow.
but it's after that quick little bite, it's like smooth again. It's gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's really clean. It's very clean.
I had no other way to explain it,
Yeah,
Dan. I'm sorry.
there's no lingering aftertaste at all. But you get it and it's gone.
Yeah.
There's-
Dan doesn't like to linger.
The Queen of Tarts Apple Ale, brewed by Apple Juice Newton. Everybody.
It's good. I mean, it's whether it was by choice or by accident.
Oh, it's
a
by
damn-
accident.
It's a damn fine beer. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It
Now, when
almost
something like that happens, do you do it again? Because
That's
holy
the problem.
shit, how do I do that?
How am I going to do this
Right.
again?
Are you going to try? It's like, how do I even? I mean, you really
We
can't.
can do like
you?
yeah, we can. I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
He's got a
I mean,
general
if
idea.
If it goes well and people are liking it, you kind of have to, don't
I
you?
can make the beer tart,
Yeah.
and not by accident, on purpose.
Right.
And then add the apple again. We used an apple juice concentrate for the wine industry that's usually added to wines at the end of ferment, like a white wine, to make an apple wine.
Oh, wow.
So we got like a 100% apple juice concentrate and just added it to the beer and mixed it up, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. We just did it.
So you went to Kroger and got those like frozen concentrate
we
juices?
got and man, we had to roll them around and then squeeze them.
That probably took forever.
Yeah.
I mean, poking all the holes and all with those little straws.
Yeah.
Man, that probably took forever.
Man, that is a killer
This
beer.
is like
Good
hard
job.
work. This is really good.
It
Really
is-
good beer, though.
It is a delicious beer. Like I said, this is my third one in 2 days.
That's the thing
Yeah.
here.
So do you have? It's obviously it's coming to our favorite time. The pigs are all putter and stout fans. What do you have coming out for the public in fall and winter? I mean, you have you always do your vanilla porter, right?
That's going to be on tomorrow.
Oh,
I actually can pull some off the bright tank right now. It's ready to keg tomorrow.
Okay.
So I can go. It won't be poured through the nitro,
Right.
but it's still tasting pretty damn good right now. I'll go pull some off at the next commercial break when Cadillac does its promo. Like I mentioned this earlier, we're going to do take a little of the porter and make Wreck My Pumpkin, which we did last year. We're going to, once it gets a little bit cooler, we're going to brew our Genesis Milk Stout, which was the first beer we ever brewed in here.
And that's the one that I fell in love with. That's the
Yeah,
first
that's
beer
a
I
great
had, and it
beer.
was
I think
delicious.
we've done it twice and haven't done it in quite some time, actually. So we'll bring that one back.
Good deal.
And then, man, once I get a nice hold of like 6 to 8 beers up there, and I feel good with like standard traditional beers and our beers, then I can start kind of rolling the
Venturing
dice a
out
little
and-
bit and
yeah.
venture out and go, okay, man, what do you want to do here to really make a little bit of noise or raise an eyebrow and go, oh, man, I got to get by and try that. So I'm still kind of digging out of a hole here, getting back to getting a lot of our beer, because we had to stop production to put the new tanks in.
Oh,
we had
yeah.
to shut down our
Yeah.
glycol system. We didn't brew a batch of beer in July, and it was it took longer than it should have. You know, we had hurdles to overcome.
Oh, yeah.
So we were down to 2 beers in here that were our house brewed beers. So I'm still kind of digging out, and we're getting there.
So we're gonna finish up this episode real quick. Dan, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate
for
it.
this episode.
You guys will probably be invited back at some point.
We hope. We like to be here.
Because this show,
I like
once
how he
it
says at
starts,
some point.
once the show starts, it just goes freaking downhill.
Downhill.
Nice. All right, we all know y'all listen to Blind Pig for our beer conversations and our weird antics, but have you guys heard about this new place, Madison's?
Isn't that place on Main Street in Pendleton?
Yeah, that place.
That it is a fantastic Italian restaurant in Pendleton.
But fantastic restaurant means nothing when you talk about their great bourbon selection and scotch.
Oh yes, and beer.
got
But
some
they're
beer.
known for that scotch and bourbon selection,
Yeah.
which if you've seen pictures on site, holy cow!
And we had to be right next to these guys at the Dig In Festival, where I had to watch them chop duck all day and smell this delicious food. It was amazing.
You look good in raw meat.
I do.
Good news is we're doing a show there real soon, so stay tuned. It'll be up here real soon for you guys.
October 25th, actually.
Ooh.
That is soon. Good call, cowboy.
Is there something that you've been wanting to get off your chest?
I need to get this browsier off my chest.
Welcome to the confessional.
The Blind Pig Confessional. I'm an ordained minister. That makes it legal, right?
For show.
Truth will set you free.
Joining the show, Isaiah. Welcome back.
First off, can I have a cool ass nickname like everybody else?
Yeah, we'll call. Yeah,
I've
your
got
name.
one.
Your
We'll
new
call
name
you-
is.
We'll call you Isaiah. How about that?
I like Isaiah.
That's
It's-
cool.
it's-
I just made that up.
It's a little different from Isaiah.
All right,
guys, go ahead and
All
there's
right.
3 guests now, so you should need to draw. First, we'll start with Isaiah. Isaiah, draw a question
Hold on,
out of there,
1 second here.
and you gotta. It's probably not going to be a great question, but
It probably is. I don't know. You're alone in the car. What horrible song do you sing along to?
but don't want anybody to know.
Taylor Swift.
And I'll write your name.
That is a hard fucking question.
No, it's not. You know there's a song.
No,
you know there's a song.
It is because I don't listen to music in the car. Believe it or not.
You listen to NPR?
I don't. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
And none of them play music.
Okay, so how about the shower? Anywhere that you're alone and you're listening to music.
You know
what is a guilty song you will sing?
I will tell you a guilty song that I'll sing, and my kids sing the fuck out of this song. It's What Does the Fox Say? Is that right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes. Honestly.
What the fox say?
Fuck that song. But as soon as it gets in your head, like it is stuck for 48 hours. So I think that would be the song I choose.
All right, there we go.
I wish that was my wife.
When I'm round, you are always complaining. You are trying to beat me again. Are you longing to be with another? If you don't love me, why not